So guys, today I am going to be looking at the new features that are coming out into Minecraft 1.17. This update is known as the Cave and Mountains update. Let's get into it. So one of the new things they added to the game was the Warden. Now this thing is a new mob added into the caves, and basically what this thing does is it attacks you based off what it hears. It doesn't actually look at you and come to attack you. So like you placing blocks or walking will give off sounds and like vibrations that it hears, and then it comes and attacks you, and it actually does an insane amount of damage, as we can see here. This guy was wearing full netherite armor and got utterly destroyed by this thing, so it's going to be a pretty tough creature to beat. And something else with the Wardens is there will also be these other little creatures that are not Wardens. They're just little kind of blocks almost, but they're like creatures that they just kind of sit there. And what they do is they also detect block updates, or not really block updates, but like sound. So if you're placing a block or walking by it, and they actually give off a redstone signal, so you can use this to kind of make a wireless redstone thing. You know, it's kind of cool. Another thing they added was Lush Cave. So this is a new cave spawn, and it is full of greenery and other things like that. They like some of the vines hanging down will have like little lights on them. It's like a growing kind of light almost, so it's kind of cool. Get a new way to, I guess, for lighting and stuff, so you can make your vegetation kind of builds look better. They also improve cave generation, so caves actually look cool now. They're like way more massive. They'll actually have giant kind of water pools in them. There's that kind of underwater cave kind of look, which means now you can, it's not like completely underneath like the ocean caves like we had before. Those are still in the game, but now you have this kind of new feature. This here is also another really cool cave generation that I forgot to mention, so here's just kind of a preview of what it's going to look like. There's also goats that have been added into the game, and these things, they can jump actually pretty high and far. They actually know when they need to jump, so if there's like a little gap or something, they're going to jump over it. They're not just going to fall in it. They also can use their horns and ram into other creatures and stuff and deal damage to them. So this could be maybe a potential trap or something. You like release a goat when it comes to charges at a player. I don't know, something cool like that. You now have amethyst geodes, and these are spawn in caves, and they grow in caves. But these crystals will only grow within that geode spawn. So if you want to make a farm out of it, you'd have to do it at that location. You couldn't take it and build it somewhere else to grow the geodes. We still don't know what these geodes are useful for, but they're in the game now, and they look kind of cool, so, you know, why not? Another thing they added into the game was a new ore, known as copper. Now, this thing you can use to make some copper, like bricks or blocks with it or whatever, and these things, they actually show their age. So over time, they will kind of change their color and stuff. So over time, they kind of will change their color from going their shiny copper color to more of their blue color. Along with that copper, you can also make a lightning rod, and what this does is lightning is attracted to it. So if you had a wood house, rather than it hitting your house and lighting that house on fire, it would hit the lightning rod, and then you don't have to worry about your house burning down, if you have like a wood base or something. There are also these new mobs that can be found in cave lush biomes in the water, and these are known as Axolotls. Now you can put these things in buckets and carry them around with you, and then when you go and you fight those sea temples and those guardians, they will actually help you attack them, so it'll make that exploring those a lot easier. Another thing we get added to the game are archaeological dig sites. So what you can do is you can get like these little kind of brush broom things that I think they're called, something like that. And what you use these for is removing like dirt and gravel layer by layer in these dig sites, and you can actually find valuables in them and just certain other objects. However, if like there's a chance sometimes that they'll like break and then you don't get them. There's also these like Lilypad kind of plant things, so to speak, or kind of like a carpet almost of like leaves. And when you stand on this for too long, it'll tilt down and you actually fall through it. Another thing that's being added to the game is the telescope. Basically what this thing does is it just allows you to zoom in on certain objects, kind of like you can in the Optifine thing. Only now you can do it just in regular Minecraft without having to use any like mods or anything. The only thing with it is it does kind of make a small little circle on your screen, so it's more as if you're looking out of like a telescope, not just zooming in with Optifine. There are also these things called bundles, and basically what these things are is they are sacks that you can put about like any items really you want in there. It has like a certain kind of health bar to it, and as you fill it up with items, the health bar will go up, and once it's completely full, then you can't put any more items in it, which is kind of a nice way to kind of expand your inventory without the need of shulker boxes. And maybe if you could put shulker boxes in there, you could like fill bundles completely full of shulker boxes and then put those inside of ender chests and essentially have like an insane amount of storage. Also, they have added in powdered snow, and this looks almost just like regular snow, except when you walk over top of it, you can fall through it, and there'll be traps and stuff laying around in your snow biomes now that you will die from, well, or get damaged from, potentially. Also, with this being the Cave and Mountains update, I believe is what they are calling this, so not only are the caves super cool, but now the new mountain generations are going to be looking a lot more extensive, and the forests are going to be cooler, and everything's just going to be amplified, so it's like amplified biomes everywhere pretty much now. Now, these updates aren't going to come out until the summer of 2021, they were saying, so we got a little while before we can experiment with any of this stuff. But I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be exciting. Now, I almost skipped over this, but the Warden wasn't the only new mob we got. So, man, this is depressing. So the Minecraft community, we voted on a new mob to add to the game. There was an Axolotl, there was a glowing squid, and then some cow or something like that, like the Moosh Bloom or something like that. The Moosh Bloom got voted out very first round, and so then it was down between the glowing squid and the Axolotl. The glowing squid spawns, from what I heard, it spawns in caves. It can occasionally spawn, I think, in like oceans and swamps, and it basically glows and gives off a little light. And then the Axolotl is kind of like an ice warden, and he'll use his ice and snow powers to kind of fight you in the snow biomes, give you kind of another enemy to attack, and he's got some pretty cool abilities. But the mob that won was the glowing squid. Yep, it had, I think, like 4 or 5% more votes than the Axolotl, which I think the glowing squid is kind of, you know, I don't want to say it sucks because we haven't really seen it in action yet, but I sure don't think that it should have won over the Axolotl. But it did, and that's the new mob in the game. I guess we'll kind of see how cool it is. Maybe, who knows, maybe it'll actually be really cool and awesome, and I'll actually end up really loving it. I guess we'll find out. But guys, until then, have a great day, and don't forget to stay cool. See you guys.